Hello everyone, welcome. This is Osama Al Salman, and today I'm going to present to you DART, Design Alternatives Reporting Tool. This tool was developed in Simon Fraser University at the School of Interactive Arts and Technology, specifically the Computational Design Lab. It has been supervised by Professor Halil Erhan, and the team is led by me. So let's take this hypothetical scenario. We have a client who comes to an architectural company and discusses a potential design objectives and targets he wants to achieve. Then the architect starts working on these design and sketches a couple of alternatives. Then the designer starts modeling 3D designs of these sketches in a 3D modeling environment, for example, like Rhino. Then she uses a design analytics software to compute the potential relative performance of these design alternatives. The next step is that the designer or the architect wants to share these design alternatives with the client for feedback. However, the question is, how? The current sharing options, including compiling and manually designing a PDF report or a PowerPoint presentation, then inviting the client to meet and present those design alternatives, or email it by email. However, this is limited and it can be better. Our approach is to add a custom plugin to the current modeling environment that the designer uses, and this custom plugin will be responsible for the reporting and generation of the whole design alternatives, and then sending these reports to the cloud. The client then is able to access the cloud through an interface and retrieve these design alternatives, see them, and then give the feedback in a structured and refined way. Why do we select this approach? First, the client can access the design alternatives from any place at any time using any internet device. Hence, this will drastically decrease the costs and overhead of meetings. Second, the generation and update of design alternatives reports is a seamless automated process that can be integrated with any workflow and motivates more feedback cycles. Finally, the client is able to investigate the design alternatives more thoroughly and provide more refined and structured feedback compared to meetings or emails. Next, we will show you a demo of the client interface of the DART system. The first interface that the client sees is the project browser, where you can see all the projects currently available for the client to see. The only project currently available is this project, so the client clicks and it opens and shows the possible design alternatives. The architect here has submitted and curated 3 design alternatives. From this overview look, we can see their form through these pictures, and we can get an overview of the performance by expanding these expansion panels. When we hover on one design alternative, we can select between 2 views. First, the alternative overview and the alternative components view. Let's check the alternative overview first. In this view, we get to have an overview of the design alternative from 3 aspects. First, the tabular view that tells us the performance against the targets and the achievement percentage. Green color indicates an overachieving alternative, and a red color indicates an underachieving alternative. The number represents the percentage of overachieving or underachieving. We can also switch to delta values, which shows us the values that the alternative is achieving, overachieving, or underachieving. Next, we get to see 4 images that shows us the alternatives from 4 different angles. We can zoom in one of the images and display them similar to a gallery view. We could also view the design alternative in a 3D view. We can zoom, pan. We can also enlarge this 3D view so we can see it full screen. Next, we can create charts based from the performance values, so we can compare them more easily. We expand this drop-down and we select the dimensions we are interested in. Then we see a bar chart that visualizes the current alternative values, shown in yellow, against the targets, shown as a black line. Finally, we have the comments view, which allows us to post comments on this particular design alternative. Comments can be of 3 types: opinions to express that you like this alternative or you don't like something about it, a question where you ask about something for this alternative and direct these questions to the designers, and the to-do, which is an item that you ask the designer to refine or redo in the design alternative. Posting a comment is easy. You just select the type, so let's say it's an opinion, and then you write the comment, and then you click post. Your comment will be added here. A designer can reply to your comment by clicking on reply and posting his reply. Once a comment is resolved and the discussion is ended, a comment can be marked as resolved. Next, we want to show you the alternative components view. In this view, we are able to focus on the components of the building and their performance. Components in this problem represent these blocks. These blocks can be selected and highlighted here to show the form and the performance of a particular block. We can also select a block on this table. To have more control over commenting, we can post a comment on a particular block. So we select the block, and then we can post our comment as we did before. Lastly, I want to show you the compare view, where we can compare design alternatives to have a better judgment over which is better for our needs. So we can start by selecting the alternatives we want to compare. We then click on compare, and we will get an overview that allows us to compare the design alternatives on 3 dimensions. First, the data by looking at the values here, and by selecting dimensions. In this example, this bar chart shows 3 design alternatives color-coded as shown here, and the black targets line. So we can easily tell how much they compare in overachieving or underachieving the targets. We can also highlight to read the value. The next aspect we can compare on is the form, where we can see the small multiples views, 3D views of the design alternatives. Lastly, we can compare the feedback. We can look at the comments on all design alternatives to be able to judge how is the feedback different on each design alternative. Thank you for watching this video. If you are interested in this system and had an experience in any field as a designer or a client, we are currently looking for participants for a short study that helps us further improve and develop this software. Please contact us at the following email.